Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Jed and welcome back to another Division video. Now today I have a build video for you guys, and if you saw my video from yesterday, my 30 minutes of PvP, I was running a Predator Mark build, and any of you that are curious about my build, this is going to be your video. I'm going to be showing off my utility, crit chance, Predator Mark build. I don't know what I want to call it, but this is a utility build. This is not going to be a damage build. While I'm sure you can use Predator to make a very good damage build, that is not what my build is. So to start the build off, you can see that I am running 200k DPS, about 350 toughness, and 77 skill. I wish the skill power could be higher, but I do have lots of self-heal mods that kind of make up for that. So I'm going to start things off with the chest piece. I'm rocking Predator, and it's rolled into stamina. I'm sitting at about 3,200 armor, which is a pretty damn high armor roll. I kind of wish there in the major attribute I could have got exotic damage resilience, because grenades are really strong and flame turrets are really annoying to go up against. I'm looking to stack more burn resistance and exotic damage resilience with this build. I started working on this build before I actually went into the dark zone, so I didn't know that grenades were that strong and flame turrets were that strong, so I'm definitely going to optimize this build a little bit more in the future. And then lastly, I have ammo capacity on the chest, which is huge because while they did increase the ammo cap, it just simply isn't enough. Next up, I'm rocking a Spec Ops mask with refreshed on it, and I actually don't use refreshed as much as I would like to. When I first put this build together, I had a tendency to always proc refreshed and really get the most out of my heal. But other than that, I have this rolled into firearms, as you can see, and I have the major attribute crit chance because it complements my build. I'm aiming for the most amount of crit chance I can possibly get, so a 3.5% increase definitely helps. But after going into the dark zone and playing for a bit, I think exotic damage resilience might be better there. If this was something like maybe 7% crit chance, I would take it. Since it's such a small amount of crit chance, I think I would take exotic damage resilience instead. And for the minor attribute, I really wish I would have got burn resist there instead of increased kill XP, but it's another one of those things that it's really down to the tiny min-maxing that you have to do to perfect a build, but it's overall not really going to affect the just power of the build in general. I think a good replacement mask here would be a Tenacious rolled into firearms with EDR and burn resist. Next up, I'm rocking Predator's Mark knee pads. I have a pretty low stamina roll on these, unfortunately, but I am having trouble finding Predator Mark pads, so I had to roll this one for armor because it was missing that. And then the minor attributes are also off as well. I wish I could have got burn, disrupt, and bleed resist. Instead, I got the increased kill XP, which I mean is nice for PvE because I do get like 3,000 a kill. Next up on my backpack, I have a firearms backpack. Got a pretty high roll on firearms, got a decent roll on armor, and I got burn resist, which is really nice. This backpack is awesome, and I'm glad I picked this one up. Next up, we got a really good pair of Savage gloves here. I got a high roll of stamina with sub damage, crit chance, and crit damage. And last up is the holster, which is pretty straightforward. You're just looking for a high 900 of each roll, which you could see that I failed to get with my electronics because I had to roll for armor, which is really the only major attribute you're going to want. So starting things off with the weapons, I am running a Navy MP5N, and I'm not necessarily sure what crit damage rolls you can get on this. I don't know if 29% is good or bad. All I know is that I'm critting a lot, so I don't mind the extra 29% damage when I am critting. I don't have the best roll in the world, but I still really do appreciate this one. I'm rocking Talented, Vicious, and Fierce, which Vicious and Fierce add a lot to my crit chance, which is definitely nice because I'm critting almost all the time, which allows me to do a decent amount of damage. But then I have Talented, which I do appreciate sometimes. Like when I get a kill and I pop a heal, I can really notice the difference. It gives me a big heal for that, but it definitely wouldn't be something that I would take over Responsive, where it's just a flat damage increase 24/7. But onto the attachments, I have a mag size with rate of fire, and I got a little bit of extra crit chance on the magazine as well, which is nice. And on my optic, I have critical hit damage as my main stat because I don't want to have too much crit chance, because the more and more that I have, that means the less damage that I have. So when I crit, it's not going to be that special. So I've decided to roll crit damage on it with a little bit of headshot and crit chance with it. And on the muzzle, I have crit chance, stability, optimal range, reduced threat. The only thing I really appreciate on this is the crit chance and the reduced threat, because stability doesn't really help with submachine guns. They're meant to be really stable. And I've yet to really see many console gunfights that are long range, so optimal range really does not help this weapon at all. But the reduced threat is nice because when you're in a gunfight and there's NPCs around and your opponent does not have a suppressor, the NPCs are going to focus them because they have more threat than you do. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Sometimes I feel like NPCs just have it out for me and they just love to focus me. So hopefully you guys will have better luck than I do. And next up is the underbarrel, which doesn't really do much. It has stability on it as the main stat, which again, you don't really need with submachine guns. Accuracy, which kind of helps, but it's only 2%. And then optimal range, which again, I don't really care about. My secondary is a military M870, which I have surprisingly rolled predatory, brutal, and deadly. Now, while this is a two-shotting machine and I could take on just about anyone with this weapon, I don't have fun playing with it. I really only take this gun out when someone pulls a shotgun out on me or there's a team that has shotguns, and they're just really hard to compete with when you're trying to spray them down with submachine guns. That's when I pull out the M870 and I just start two-shotting people. Again, it's not really fun, but it's kind of mandatory with how auto-aim works on console. Now, I'm really happy with my magazine. I got mag size, reload speed, and rate of fire. Mag size and rate of fire for obvious reasons, but the reload speed is nice because that is the trade-off with the shotguns. They have really long reload speeds, and just to have that extra 4% on your mag is really nice. On the optic, I have optimal range, which helps with shotguns. I haven't really seen how shotguns perform without it, but I would just assume that it does help. I have accuracy to get the circle tighter, so when I shoot someone in the head, all of the pellets are always hitting. And then I have crit damage. I really would have liked to roll that for crit chance, but I've yet to find an optic that has that. And then on the underbarrel, which I actually like this underbarrel, it comes with 26% reload speed, a little bit of accuracy to tighten that up even more, and then it has optimal range, which I would assume is good on shotguns. And having this reload speed on my mag and on my underbarrel, it is really nice because when you come over to Predator, the two-piece bonus is 10% reload speed. So you're reloading really quick with shotguns on this build. And then my three-piece gives me an 8% assault rifle damage and 8% submachine gun damage. When I am PvEing, I switch to an assault rifle because those have the armor damage. So those are pretty nice to run with. And the final perk that Predator's Mark offers that is just the huge bonus that really helps with a team composition when it comes to building teams is the Predator's Mark. Hitting 10 shots with this weapon will make a target bleed for 50% of the damage done by those bullets. Now, this isn't significant because of that damage that it does. It's only significant because of the bleed that it puts on your enemies. And when in PvP, if an agent is marked by bleed, they cannot sprint away. They can't run away. They can't close a gap with a shotgun. The utility behind this perk is fantastic, and I would definitely recommend at least one Predator in a team composition. And then also, I forgot that my gear mods, yes, I am running armor on just about all of them. I have some stamina, electronics, firearms here and there. I just had to get my build to about 4,000 firearms, 5,000 stamina, and then just kind of whatever into electronics. Just the main stat on gear mods just has to be armor. That's just how the meta is. And then for my performance mods, I just have them all rolled into self-heal because I am lacking a lot of skill power and it still doesn't even heal me up to full, which would be nice. But a few things that I want to make a point on before I go is my crit chance is ridiculously high with this. I'm sitting at 36.5. And if I were to run Pulse, I can get that crit chance almost up to the cap. You can stop the video anytime and look at any of these other stats, but I'm just going to quickly go through these because I want to show you my armor, which I'm sitting at 56.4. Pretty nice. I'd say anything that is in the higher 50s is pretty good. Since I am a utility build, I don't really run any CC or anything like that. I don't run tech alt. I just run healing skills. I got my heal up to 100k, and I run immunizer just to knock off, you know, other predator marks or flame turrets, which unfortunately the immunizer doesn't really counter a fire crest because the damage that the flame does to you is obnoxious. It is way too much damage in my personal opinion, but it is nice just being able to shoot back if you're standing in a immunizer, although you're not going to win a 1v1 with the turret because they're sitting at like 200,000 health. And then I run Med Alt because there has been a few times where I've came in with a really clutch revive, and it helps our team out so much because that player is able to get back up and contribute to the fight even more. I would say a perfect team comp you would run with 1 medical, 2 tactical, and 1 security. And since the security is not that good anymore and it only gives you 50% damage resilience, I would only really use this if you're trying to run something off or just get away from like a team or something. And then I would use tech for when you're in combat and the odds are not in your favor. I would only really use medical when a teammate goes down, right when they go down, just to try and get that clutch revive on them, because the delay is I think it's like a 1 second delay from picking them up from when you actually pop the ult. So it has to be really good timing with it, and the range is huge on this thing. The range is up to 50 meters, which you can pick up a teammate so far away with this. But that just about sums it up. That's my Predator Mark build. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you guys try this build out. I really recommend it. When building a team composition, and having a Predator on your team is huge because of the utility it offers. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out, everybody.